unalived by two white boys, right? So let's see what the hell going on.
We'll be discussing the murder of 19-year-old David Noel Pleasant in Little Elm, Texas. On a seemingly ordinary day in Little Elm, tragedy struck when David Noel Pleasant lost his life. It all began on a fateful Friday afternoon when police responded to reports of a shooting on the 200 block of Paladin Place. Pleasant was found lying on the ground near a playground. He was bleeding from his head, and there were two spent 9mm shell casings on the ground in the middle of the cul-de-sac near his body. The investigation quickly revealed that this shooting was no random act of violence. According to an arrest affidavit, a 16-year-old girl ran to the scene and identified the man as Pleasant, telling the officers he was her boyfriend. She then informed the officers that she had gone to the location to purchase marijuana. She had been trying to reach him but couldn't, so she went to the park to look for him. Little did she know that her search would lead to an unimaginable tragedy. Medics arrived at the scene and transported Pleasant to the Texas Health Presbyterian Hospital in Plano.
Why are we shooting people over some goddamn weed? It's weed. What are we shooting people over weed for? Oh my God.
He was placed on a ventilator as he had no brain activity. He was removed from life support and died the following morning. During the course of the investigation, Little Elm police would discover that the shooting was captured on surveillance video from the 1600 block of Night Trail. The video showed a gray Volkswagen pull up at the cul-de-sac. Pleasant could be seen walking up to the vehicle from the playground, according to the affidavit. Pleasant is then seen entering the right rear door of the vehicle. He stays in the car for a few minutes, and then it shows him running away from the vehicle towards the playground. However, what happened next was both shocking and devastating. The driver, who the affidavit states appears well under 6 foot tall, is shown exiting the vehicle, running around the car, and he fires 2 shots at Pleasant. Pleasant is seen falling towards the playground stairs, and the driver gets back into the vehicle and takes off. Investigation continued and led detectives to 2 individuals, Alec Adamson and Mason Schiller, both said.
That's crazy. They a little light. They a little light for some criminals, right? Because I thought criminals were only my skin color. I thought we were the criminals. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know that they came in this version. That's crazy. Learn something new every day, huh? It's crazy work.
17 years old at the time of the shooting. Pleasant's girlfriend, who was a minor, explained to the officers that Pleasant was going to meet a boy named Schiller to purchase the drugs. The girl further explained to police that she was introduced to Schiller by a friend at school. She only knew his first name, and she contacted Schiller through Instagram and then spoke with her friend, who said his last name was something like Shilly. Little Elm detectives were able to track down Mason Schiller's name based on the girl's information, being that he was a student at Frisco ISD.
Frisco. Oh, that is little. Yeah, that's crazy.
They contacted Frisco ISD school resource officers, who provided Schiller's home address in Prosper. Detectives also learned that Schiller had previously overdosed at another address in Prosper. Coincidentally, that address was determined to be Adamson's residence. Using this information, detectives would go to Alec Adamson.
But they don't do that, right? They don't. This has to be cap, bro. This has to be cap. Because white people don't do drugs. White people don't murder people for no reason. White people don't deal drugs. The fuck, like that, bro.
Its residents looking for Schiller. Upon arrival, they
overdosing too. I forgot. He said he overdosed at Mr. Adamson's establishment at his residence. That's crazy. This has
ended
to be
up
cap.
locating the gray Volkswagen from the shooting parked across the street from Adamson's residence.
Y'all killing motherfuckers. Y'all driving a Volkswagen? That's crazy. That's crazy. I know it wasn't a bug, but homeboy in there, they over there hitting licks in a bug. Oh Y'all was listening to too much trap, huh?
Detectives would then observe Adamson exit the residence and enter a black Ford pickup driven by another male. Officers then attempted to conduct a high-risk traffic stop on the vehicle, but the truck attempted to get away and ended up crashing into another vehicle in an intersection a few blocks away. Both Adamson and the driver attempted to flee, but were eventually apprehended and taken back to the scene of the crash.
So they ran from the police. That's crazy. They didn't do that, man. They lying. They lying in this bitch. There's no way. There's no way that Mr. Schiller and Mr. Adamson ran from the police after selling drugs, after attempting to sell, and then I'm pretty sure they were just trying to rob the boy. But they attempted to sell and then murdered a black boy that was trying to partake in some cannabis. And there's no way they did this, man. There's no way they did it.
Driver of the truck was a 17-year-old Prosper High School football player. A detective spoke with Adamson at the scene.
Not his future, bro. He was a football player. Come on now. They just did this so that he wouldn't go to college, man. They knew they knew he was finna take the game over, bro.
After reading him his Miranda rights, he allegedly agreed to speak with the detectives. The detectives asked if Schiller was at Adamson's residence, and he responded that he wasn't sure, but Schiller had been there earlier. When the detectives start
I thought white people didn't lie.
Asking about the shooting, however, Adamson terminated the interview and asked for an attorney. Adamson's mother would come to the scene and actually brought Schiller with her. Once identified, he was immediately handcuffed and placed into a police vehicle. When asked, the driver of the truck told detectives that he was just on his way to a football banquet and stopped by Adamson's residence to pick him up. The driver, Adamson, and Schiller were all taken to the Prosper Police Department and interviewed by detectives and Texas Rangers. Adamson's mother asked to speak with her son, at which point Adamson allegedly told her that the firearm they were looking for was in his bedroom. Detectives would follow Adamson's mother back to their home and, with her consent, agreed to let them into the home. However, because Adamson is a legal adult in Texas and has a reasonable expectation of privacy in his bedroom, a search warrant was also obtained. Inside a closet inside of his room, police allegedly found a black Taurus G2C 9mm handgun. The firearm had a magazine in it, and that magazine was missing some ammunition. The driver of the black pickup truck was informed that he was not under arrest, and he was eventually allowed to leave, but before he left, he provided the police with some additional information. The driver told police Adamson sent a selfie of him and Schiller in Adamson's bedroom earlier that day. Adamson then contacted the driver and asked him to come to his house, and the driver went there a little later that evening. The driver said that Adamson sounded upset and told him someone tried to rob him and that they shot him. When asked who they was, the driver said he assumed it was Schiller since he saw the picture of the two of them together that day.
Hold on. Homeboy got in the car to buy the cannabis. Him alone. I'm pretty sure if they found a weapon on him, that would have been pushed out there. It would have been reported, right? So I think it's safe to assume that he didn't have a weapon on him, right? So he goes and tries to rob two people by himself, no weapon. That don't sit well with me. Because if he tried, I believe personally, if he had the balls to shoot him, he would have had the balls to go and get his product back after he shot him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm confused as to why he just took off then. Why'd you just take off? Why didn't you get what he stole from you? That don't make no sense to me.
The driver recounted what Adamson told him about how they were assaulted and the shooting, citing details that Adamson could only know if he was present at the shooting, according to the affidavit. The detectives and Texas Rangers then interviewed Schiller. After reading him his Miranda rights, he allegedly waived his rights and agreed to speak with them. Schiller said he was contacted by Pleasant's girlfriend on Instagram, wanting to buy marijuana and mushrooms for $200. Schiller said she told him she was in the shower and her brother would meet them in the cul-de-sac. Schiller said that he went to the location in Adamson's vehicle and Adamson was driving. When they arrived, Pleasant walked up to the vehicle and asked to see the product. Schiller said Adamson showed him the drugs but refused to hand them over until Pleasant paid. Schiller alleged Pleasant began hitting him and Adamson, at which point Adamson reached into his coat and pulled out a gun. Schiller then states that Pleasant exited the vehicle and started running towards the playground. He alleged Adamson exited the vehicle and fired 2 shots at Pleasant as he fled. Schiller also states that he did not know if Pleasant was shot. The affidavit states that because Adamson and Schiller were both together in conducting the felony offense of delivering a controlled substance, used Schiller's Instagram to facilitate the sale, and both were present as the murder was committed directly by Adamson when he assaulted Pleasant by shooting him. Schiller is also responsible for the murder. Adamson and Schiller were both arrested and charged with murder and received $1 million bonds. Records do show, however, that Schiller was released on February 8th, the following day of the arrest, but Adamson remains held in custody.
I do not believe that this boy tried to rob him. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't. I'm sorry. I don't believe him. I feel like if he had intent to rob somebody that was dealing, I feel like he would have had more than just his fists. Like, just to be honest. And then he just starts hitting you from the backseat. He just starts wailing on you. And then all of a sudden his whole life changes and he runs out the car. His whole demeanor changes. Everything that he wants to do has now changed. Everybody in Texas has weapons. We all know that. Especially if you moving stuff in Texas, you got a gun, bro. We know that. Why is he trying to rob you without a gun? I just don't believe
This
that.
tragic incident left the community shocked and saddened by the loss of a young life. In the wake of this event, the community has come together to support David Noel Pleasant's family. Vigils, fundraisers, and awareness campaigns have been organized to help them during the difficult.
But they're gonna literally say, well, if he wasn't smoking weed, he wouldn't have died. Like, come on, man. If he wasn't smoking weed, he wouldn't be in that situation. You can never win.
Time. Local organizations and community members worked hand in hand to provide emotional and financial support to the grieving family. This tragic incident serves as a stark reminder of the dangers associated with illegal activities and the consequences that can potentially follow. Our hearts go out to the family and friends of David Noel Pleasant 100%. As they navigate this unimaginable loss. We hope that justice will be served in due course.
Yeah, so first of all, rest in peace. Rest in peace, man. Rest in peace. That I don't think people deserve to die over some fucking weed, to be honest with you. If y'all want to smoke, wait until you're of age and go to a weed legal state. There's weed legal states now. Just wait till you're of age and go to a weed legal state. I know that's a lot to ask, but it's better than dealing with people that are doing dumb shit for no reason. There's no reason to be killing over some goddamn weed, not some weed, and especially not some damn mushrooms. Hell no. Either way, so they were given 10 years to my knowledge. Let me see if I can find it. I'm talking about the shooting happened under duress. Crazy work. Oh man, that's crazy work. Argued that Pleasant was attempting to strong arm rob Adamson during a drug deal in the defendant's vehicle. This man sitting in the back seat, both y'all in the front seat, and they're trying to strong arm you. Is crazy. It was unnecessary. It was unnecessary as hell. All right, so Schiller was given a Class A misdemeanor assault in 2024. In September 2025 trial for the 2023 fatal shooting of 19-year-old David Pleasant in Little Elm, Denton County, jury convicted Alec Adamson of the lesser included offense of aggravated assault instead of first-degree murder, sentencing him to 4 years in prison. Because Adamson received credit for over 2 years he already spent in the Denton County jail waiting trial, he was given an immediate parole eligible status. So they killed some. Okay. So what about What about Schiller? Because they're just showing Alec Adamson. So dude is already allegedly out? Was never indicted for murder and instead testified as a state witness. That's crazy. If those were two black kids in that car, both of them would have went down for murder. Even if one flipped on the other one still would have got charges. I'm not understanding this shit. So he got away by snitching. I mean, technically he didn't pull the trigger. You know, I understand that. But if those were two black boys in that car, man, he would have been charged as well. It happened so many times. It's crazy. I'm trying to figure out how homeboy, I kept hearing 10 years, but I guess it was 10 years and he only had to serve 4, but he already had credit for the 2 that he was in there. So they just said, oh, what the hell? He's a good kid. Let's let him out. But Carmelo Anthony's self-defense was being attacked as well, right? Because they claimed that they were being attacked. So Carmelo was being attacked as well, and still somehow, some way, it was given 35 years. Oh, it just don't make sense, man. It just don't make sense. Don't make sense. But let me know what y'all think in y'all comments, in the comments, man. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all have a good one.
Cause I believe that I can fly and I can die. I can fall and I can rise. I influence my demise. See the world through open eyes. Unauthorized, but I don't mind. I'm minding mine. I'm counting mine. I'm crossing lines. I'm stuck in drive. I'm televised. I hear the cries. I see the signs. I close the blinds. I feed the ones who's close to mine. I sow the seeds.